Give them your best. Yes, thank you, Lupper, for able to actually give me some good lucks here and now again. But even then, we've already got ourselves 18 green stars so far. So even then, we still got a whole way to go for this point. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Duffy Duck here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Mario Galaxy 2 from the Nintendo Wii/Nintendo Wii U eShop download. So last time we did manage to gather every single of those green stars in World 1. And surprisingly enough though, it only took me about like 3 deaths on it so far for the likes of the Green Stars run. That's only because of how the fact that I wasn't paying too much attention to those sometimes. And especially noticeable as some trial and error usually comes in for this point. So even then though, that's besides the point. So even then though, today for this episode is the fact that we're about to be continuing things on. And here we go, on to the Green Star Hunting part number 2. But this time around though, usually takes place in World 2. So kicking things off, we're going to go back to Puzzle Plank Galaxy to do, what else? Some more Green Stars hunting. So even then though, I believe the final 2 was actually at the very end of the level almost. But the first one was actually at the very beginning of the level, like specifically on top of that question mark block. So even then, hopefully we can able to find that. And sure enough, we can able to find the first one just about roughly here. So, and obviously in this one right here is the fact that we need to carefully time our angle bouncy shots, and that was a big mistake ever. But that's okay though, because I'm actually going to be going after the second green star instead. Because, if you can tell already about the fact that there's also a fastest way you can able to actually just to complete those green stars effortlessly, is the fact that if you manage to accidentally grab the second and the third green star, luckily though there's actually a mission skip option so that you can able to actually retry that specific green star again. Like if you accidentally grab the green star number 2 or green star number 3, etc, etc. So either way though, there's green star number 2 here, because I see the first one but I failed the actual first attempt on that one. But hey, at least we can able to actually do this for a second attempt this time around though. So even then though, chances are, you know, attempts are endless I suppose sometimes. So now we're on to 139 of those power stars so far. Jeez, we're actually getting so much more progression at this so far. Especially noticeable in comparison to the forms of Super Luigi Galaxy in the original Super Mario Galaxy game. Some mission lengths on Super Luigi Galaxy, it might felt relatively the same thing as the Mario's playthrough. But with the green stars in Super Mario Galaxy 2, this time around though, it makes it super duper short and super easy. Well, not so much easy though, but more accurately, more likely tougher as you think. So, excuse me, I got something in my throat there, I do apologize for that. So today's day is the forms of the 3rd of September, in this case in 2019. One thing I forgot, I believe, Sonic hasn't mentioned about this since the forms of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix yesterday. Recently, Avengers Endgame, at least in the UK version of that specific film, has recently released yesterday. So even then though, that chances are, and I'm actually really looking forward to able to re-watching some of the Avengers films again, specifically Infinity War and Endgame. So, and also it will be the first time I'm ever going to be seeing the first Avengers film, as well as Avengers Age of Ultron from the likes of the DVD combo pack, which I think it also came out recently today as well. So even then though, I'm not sure what format I'm actually going to go for, but I'm presuming I might go for the DVD versions because, you know, I always manage to able to collect some DVD stuff. Sure, it might be a little bit poor in comparison to the forms of Blu-ray nowadays, with especially noticeable with how the fact that with most Disney films from the past, at least they did manage to offer us some different content, or in this case, tons of content on the DVD version, and then at the same time, that, well, that's as far as I can usually think about it. But unfortunately for these days now, they just somehow moved on to the Blu-ray formats to able to actually get tons of goodies for that bonus features and all that such. But even then, that's as far as I can usually just try to say about it here. So anyways, let's go ahead and get a skid along right here, and we'll just try to able to go ahead and what the I fell into the hole right there for that little cutout. Oh jeez, that was a really bad sign from my part. hopefully though, we should be able to get more extra lives if we manage to continuously dying, assumably we can able to actually just to gather some of the stuff. So, and it looks like fundamentally though, we've only got about 100 of those power stars left until whenever we're able to actually get up to like 240 stars. I mean, seriously, how many we can get? I mean, obviously that was before when Super Mario Odyssey was a thing, where basically you can able to actually go through the insane amount of those power moons on that game. But the biggest difference is here than the likes of this game is that obviously this takes place in space. And right clipping for that little, well, wood tile right there, and at the same time we got the green star nonetheless. Excuse me, I'm really sorry about this point, folks, because I did say this back in during the likes of in Sunday, that I originally did say about the fact that my voice will start to get a little bit more better, but seems more accurate though, I just somehow managed to go myself lunch recently, so even then I was one to point things out right away. And next up we're going to be hit on to Hytale Falls Galaxy. This will be the final time we're going to be seeing Puzzle Plank Galaxy, which is just, it's kind of sad honestly, because well, I actually think that the music on that specific stage is really catchy though, as well as the forms of some other ones here and there as well, because, well, it kind of reminds me like Applejack's theme from the likes of Race's Bond song from the likes of Season 3 in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, if for those of you of the bronies out there knowing what I'm talking about. So even then though, that, yeah, everything else will come to the goods for this for the most part though. Yeah, you're going to be hearing me coughing like that. It's most notably because I just wasn't able to actually just, well, ruin my old microphone if I accidentally spill out the actual germs or anything like that. So even then, because of that, though, I just have no idea why I'm feeling so much more average, I suppose. But either way, though, we'll cope with that. So there's not much else to really say apart from, you know, Avengers Endgame DVD film has just recently released on the UK release date for this point now, from the likes of yesterday for the DVD and Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure the 4K version here and there as well, but even then I haven't really looked upon too much of 4K, I'm afraid. But either way though, well, we've already mentioned about the forms of the Toy Story 4 stuff from the likes of the UK release stage, as well as the first 3 films are now coming onto the 4K format. So why isn't there any way we can able to actually get ourselves the 4K version of Toy Story 4 in our country? Well, I'm pretty sure enough though, it already has that on the American version, which either way though, I'm pretty sure some people seem to might actually go after that from the actual import. But even then though, luckily for Blu-rays, especially noticeable with some 4K Blu-rays as well, they're all region free. So even then though, that should be a good sign. Especially noticeable how the fact that, well, unfortunately for those pointing onwards, although, speaking of which actually, with the actual 4K option, recently about the fact that there's going to be another 4K DVD Blu-rays about to due out at some point in the 23rd of September. Now will have to be by the forms of another Disney classic film from 1992, and that was Aladdin. So even then though, I'm very curious to see how that will turn out. But even then, I guess in the only Disney films in these left with the 4K mode, which there are, I would say, The Little Mermaid, and as well as Pocahontas, although it won't be Pocahontas because, sadly to say, it's the fact that that film doesn't receive so well compared to the films of the rest of the Resonance films and all that such, compared to the actual massive success. And it's also the highest grossing film of The Lion King, for specifically the original film, because, well, it is such a strong entry of the actual Disney Resonance era. So yeah, that's as far as I can usually think about it for the time's sake. So even then though, let us continue things on with Green Star number 2. Now I believe Green Star number 3 as well, it should be at the very end of that specific stage as well. So on the upside though, it might not take that forever to actually get into. So even then though, that's as far as I can usually just try and describe it for this kinds of stuff. So even then though, very enough though, oddly enough though, is the fact that, well, I just don't know why do I say that for that specific point right there, but either way though, another thing I want to explain about this actually is the fact that recently, Spyro United Trilogy for the Nintendo Switch, and I believe the PC version as well, just recently released today on the 3rd of September, and for what I've played it, it's actually not that bad. It might actually run exactly the same thing for how it does it on the PS4 Xbox One versions, but either way though, except the noticeable difference is that obviously this is now on the actual Nintendo console, and especially noticeable you can able to actually finally play the Spyro trilogy of games on the Nintendo console, which is pretty fantastic honestly, because either way though, because, you know, not only because that will become on the Nintendo's platform, but it's also the fact that you can able to actually play the actual Nintendo Switch on the go, like we've already established that from any sort of circumstances. So either way though, I'm actually really looking forward to able to actually replaying through the Spyro Reunited trilogy again from the likes of my Nintendo Switch, although I'm not gonna able to play that majority of it just yet though, because I still need to get back onto the PlayStation 4 version so that I can give myself my good chance of playing the original trilogy all over again. So either way though, that's as far as I can usually think about it. So anywho though, aside from everything else though, there's not much else I could really speak of, apart from the fact that Sonic has already mentioned about this since during the likes of yesterday from the likes of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, that he did mention about the fact that there's going to be some rumors out there from the likes of, you know, when Nintendo accidentally put up the copyrights for the forms of SNK from the likes of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC packs, that, God knows who else is going to be. But either way though, we'll find things out during at some point during the likes of it. I would say, somewhere at the very end of the year, or just the very beginning of 2020. But even then, it's so hard to tell at this point because it is, you know, super top secret at the moment. So because of this, though, well, I'm afraid to say for this point, folks, is the fact that so far anyway, though, when it comes to, like, Nintendo Directs and everything from the likes of this year, well, unlike any forms of how it does it in last year, that we actually got quite a few of those Nintendo Directs, honestly. Like, we've actually got ourselves the Direct Mini, by the forms of how the fact that in the beginning of July, or January I should say, or especially at the very beginning of that specific year in 2018, and we got the proper Nintendo Direct in the actual, well, I would say in March the 8th on 2018, because of that huge surprise at the end, which is of course Super Smash Bros. On the Switch, which were later named Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, because, well, you probably get the idea about that solution here. And obviously we got the Nintendo Direct in E3 last year, and also we got ourselves the Nintendo Direct on, you know, last year in the forms of September the 13th, because I originally did say about the fact that for 6th of September, but of course because of the actual terrible disaster earthquake has been happened during the actual Japan. So hopefully this won't happen this time around though for this year though. Well, at least for the most part. So either way though, yeah, looks like we can't make our way from here though. So I guess we need to find another methods just to get to there though. So perhaps maybe we can able to actually use the dash pepper and just hang on to the actual flowers and and that was really close. First I thought I was gonna miss that, but because of how the fact that, well, I just, well, did not even notice about the fact that I was able to miss that, so. But at least the actual hitbox might be somewhat big, but either way though, we actually conclude Hytale Falls Galaxy, so there we go. And seems more accurately though, we pretty much at the almost at the halfway point of these green star hunting on World 2 so far, so pretty good sign though, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, I've only died at least once for this point today because of, well, I just did not expect it, how the fact that I couldn't see the actual bottomless pit of that cutout hole. So either way though, now let's move on now to Boulder Bowl Galaxy. Ironically enough though, is that the majority of the green stars on that specific stage are actually quite close to each other, so even then though, hopefully we can find them both, or find all three of them, so either way though, let's get this thing to it. So even then though, I can assure you that the first green star, it was actually on top of that specific bridge just beyond around here, but it requires a lot of like emphasis on wall jumping. So even then though, hopefully we can able to get the best angle as we could, and sure enough we can able to actually hear it, and not only that, we can able to see it. So even then though, that's it's pretty swell if you ask me. So even then though, and obviously with Luigi's ridiculously high jump, it makes it super duper easy just to able to obtain these things, because, well, well, if you manage to play as Mario, though, you have to deal with the harder skills you need to perform, so... But then again, I've said this before since on Sunday, I recommend you able to use Luigi for the majority of the green stars, so... That's as far as I'm saying, because, you know, Luigi's green, all in all, and all the other stuff. So even then, now let's hit back in here to get the green star number 2. Green star number 2 might be a little bit easy to miss for those of you first time experiencing this green star. But as long as I can able to actually memorize what it's beyond over to the distance, well, specifically why I was know where it was, then you would able to actually deal with that no problem whatsoever, so... Hopefully, we can able to actually just define that, and I believe, the second green star was actually, like, towards that little ramp, whenever you're trying to able to dash through it. But, however though, I'm probably not gonna use my bowling ball just yet, because I think we should probably do the same skill from here again. But, except this time around though, we need to, long jump all the way from here, because I think I've some sort of see that sparkly effect around here. And yes, I scared these little, skittle pins right there, and sure enough, there it is, if you manage to get your camera working. So, there we go, nicely done. And the third and the final one was actually not that far from here either, so, relatively speaking, as far as the actual stages as far as I'm concerned, Boulder Bowl might actually contain some of the closest green stars you're ever gonna come across. Like one from above from the bridge, and another by the forms of behind the actual dash ramp before you move on to the next planet. And, I believe the third and the final one was actually on that particular planet like I was talking about. But either way though, yeah, as far as the Cosmic Cove as far as I'm concerned, well, we'll get to that as soon as we're able to continue proceeding for this. And aside from Wild Glide Galaxy as well as Honey Bloom Galaxy though, excuse me, and as well as Bowser's Lava Layer, well, we'll find things out whenever we get to those green stars at the very end at least, so... And this will be the final time we're going to be seeing this this stage, because otherwise though, we just have to move on to, you know, the next stages of course, so even then, chances are there might be something a little bit more accurate about it. And the one thing about it though, is the fact that unlike in the original game, where some galaxies, mainly with Battle Rock Galaxy as well as Dusty Dome Galaxy, that those two galaxies on that first game in the series did manage to at least manage to offer us 7 power stars for each galaxy. Whoa, 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 whoa! What the heck? Oh, jeez, I'm feeling so hasty right now. But that's okay though, because we got a checkpoint right there, so there's no point for able to use the rock mushroom in the first place, so... And speaking of the rock mushroom, the green star is going to be located just beyond here, so right behind the actual rock mushroom has been placed, so there we go. And that pretty much takes care of the forms of Boulder Bowl Galaxy for this point. So, yeah, piece of cake. Well, except I just died for that undespicably launch myself from that specific bottomless pit down below, which is probably my fault right there, because I did not mean to shake the Wii Remote or the nunchuck throughout from that segment, so... Anyways, now let's move on to Cosmic Cove Galaxy. In this case, probably the most relaxing galaxy in the whole entire game. At least to me though, anyway, though, because... Oh, the music is so beautiful to able to listen to, especially when I always attempt to listen to that, especially noticeable while I was doing some sunbathing recently. In fact, the matter is though that you know how the fact that summer is almost gonna come to a close until the next time we're gonna be seeing summer, which is by the forms of next year in 2020. Specifically from the likes at the same time as the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games is hosting in Japan. So either way though, you probably get the idea for that, so... Anyways though, so I believe the first green star was actually almost at the very end of, specifically for that, Twin High Falls mission, so even then though, it's just gonna be at the far left side of that specific platform like I was gonna able to approach upon, so even then though, hopefully we'll get a chance to able to actually meet up with that specific segment worth noting for, but even then though, as far as you probably already noticed by this point, is the fact that if you couldn't see on the time link or anything like that, eventually at this point is the fact that some of these green star hunting might take a little bit long time to able to actually just to find them. Especially if you really want to know exactly where that is. Or especially noticeable if you have like multitude of attempts to able to obtain one. So anyways though, so let's go ahead and whoa! I almost slipped off right there. So anyways though, let's activate that particular water into ice. So, yeah, already know about that kind of stuff. So, even then, let's not get into the actual launch star for quite some time, because obviously we need to aim for that green star just beyond, I think it's something roughly around on that left island over there. So hopefully though, not much anything else to be said, things considered. So even then though, we got it anyway though, so now let's go ahead and leave. But of course we're not exactly done with this beautiful, aesthetically pleasing galaxy to look at. There's going to be the final 2 green stars we can find on that specific stage. So yeah, because most of the time though, it's especially noticeable when we get to World 3 and onwards, except for World S. Basically, I'm mainly focusing on the 3 green stars compared to the 2 green stars entering at the very end of that specific world. Because, you know, I feel almost like that, because it's especially noticeable how the fact that, well, I usually don't have that much issues when it comes to, like, that specific system. So, anyways though, so for the majority of Green Star 2 and 3, those will gonna be take place in exploring the actual, mission itself, or in this case, it's hard to explain about the actual mission sometimes, because, well, I do notice about the fact that it's been about 2 months since last time I've able to actually explore this stage. So, either way though, we're able to actually accept that, so... Anyways, let's do some skate along. So, even then though, hopefully we're not gonna able to have too much pressure or anything about it. So, either way though, we'll skate along and... Oh, just right onto that pipe we go. But anyway though, so either way though, aside from everything else though, as far as I'd like to mention more details about these things specifically, I'm afraid there's not much to tell, because, well, at this point that I'm pretty much exactly unknown when it comes to some of these things and discussions I like to discuss. But hopefully though, during the later days, especially noticeable when Sonic needs to get back into Kingdom Hearts Final Mix tomorrow, especially noticeable on I would say on Friday. I'm not exactly entirely 100% sure, but because of this though, originally about the fact that we were gonna go on to someplace else on Friday, but turns out it's gonna be a day delayed, just because, let me tell you right about that, I'm a little bit too anxious about that, because, well, you probably can tell why about the fact that I'm pretty much obnoxious for that specific feeling for this point today. Well, not so much in the actual game itself, because I can just manage to enjoy myself and just sit there and make myself comfortable at home. But as far as everything else for this, for the most part though, well, there are some questionable things I just want to point out, especially if we continue more uploading on specifically on this, as well as Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Oh yeah, I probably should need to get back into Yoshi's Woolly World, because I still keep on holding up for that particular Let's Play for quite some time at this point. I think last time I actually touched upon Yoshi's Woolly World was actually ended during the likes of in July. Oh yeah, Pac-Man World! I forgot about that game. Oh jeez, so much stuff I need to do. But even then, I'll tell you what though, whenever we manage to able to get into Pac-Man World 1, I think what I'm gonna do is that I might actually take a break on this until some point in October though, and then hopefully things will able to work out at this rate. So even then, oh, hold on just a minute, guys. Okay, quick go right there, because Sonic managed to knock the door over me, and he did say about the fact that we need to pack our stuff for our camping holiday sites. So even then though, we could able to actually just point things out right away, that yes, I've managed able to pack myself for able to go out on a camping holiday site. So, who knows, I might actually get ourselves a good time on that place. Well, I'm just still a little bit anxious about that specific time at this point, because that was actually my first time ever going to be experiencing that specific stuff like this. So, hopefully though, without any too much freakish or anything like that, unlike the majority of the episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic in the finale season so far, where Twilight always gets like freakish mode when she always like go for these new things and all that such, which thankfully though, in season, well, not so much in season, but it's more accurately episode 17, she managed to able to cope without any go freak mode or freak out mode. So, but even though I think it's most notably because, well, I just don't know what to really think about this for the time. So either way though, speaking of such though actually, it's the fact that I believe we've only got about 7 more episodes to go until the show is about to be officially ended. Well, I won't say 7 left though, but more accurately, Oh jeez, I lost count on my part. I think it's, well, 8 episodes left. As far as I'm concerned with that specific stuff. Yeah, it's definitely 8, because, I keep on thinking of, next week or so. So because of this, though, yeah, we only got 8 more episodes left until the actual season is about to conclude, as well as the actual show itself, which, well, I just don't want to really talk about it, because, well, that just always makes me feel like, well, a little bit more sad, honestly. Especially because of how the fact that they're obviously going to be moving on to the next generation, which is specifically, you know, the 2020, as far as I'm usually going to call that. Well, specifically for the My Little Pony generations to come. Usually because of how the fact that they always attempt to actually move on to the next generation whenever the beginning of the era is managed to able to come in. Like, you know, when Friendship is Magic just already debuted during the likes of in the beginning of 2010s. And then it'll manage to finish up at the forms of 2019, in this case the final year of the 2010s era, so that we can move on to the 2020s era. So even then, though, that's as far as I can usually think about this for the time. So either way, though, yeah. Another thing is pointing out right away is the fact, whoa, oh god, oh jeez, that was really close, I almost fell off. Well, thankfully though, that little particular water cube just managed to save my life all of a sudden, so... Anywho though, do you remember when Sonic already mentioned about this before, since during the likes of in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, he did say about the fact that yes, we managed to go ourselves Pirates of the Caribbean as World's End DVD at long last because of the parts of the Kingdom Hearts 3 world in the Caribbean world. The only DVD missing exception, which I still need to be able to get even to this day, and that is Big Hero 6, based off from, what else? Sen Tokyo Zoo. I think that's what it's at. Basically because of that particular world that is based on from Kingdom Hearts 3. So even then, once I've managed to go myself Big Hero 6, I managed to able to gather every single of those Disney movie collections based off from Kingdom Hearts 3 worlds. Well, aside from Twilight Town and everything like that, so... But either way, though, not much else to really just trying to say about this for the most part, though, so... Anyways, though, so that pretty much takes care of Cosmic Cove Galaxy, so now we can able to move on to the final 3 stages in World 2, which is specifically for, you know, I would say by the forms of Wild Glide Galaxy, as well as Honey Bloom Galaxy, so even then, and same applies for, Bowser's Lava Layer, so either way, though, that's as far as I can usually just, say about this for the time. So even then, let's get into the forms of Wild Glide Galaxy first. So even then, hopefully we're able to actually gather those 2 green power stars, as far as I meant to say for that, because, well, you know, it's all in green, so not much else to tell. Alright, so now, you know with how the fact that if you really want to able to speed things up a notch, you always have to talk to this guy right there, and make sure you select no thanks, because otherwise, if you accidentally just, well, if you accidentally select Let's Glide or something, well, you're pretty much going to be stuck onto that how to play the actual Fluzzard kinds of stages, so... One pointing out because either way though, because some speedrunners accidentally manage to select that option whenever they do some green stars hunting or something, because, well, I just don't see why about the fact that I just don't able to participate for speedrunning tactics like so. But either way though, that way we can able to actually get so much more of attention, so... Here's the first green star just right down there, and... Oh, I missed! Oh well, we'll come back for that after we grab the second green star. But if I missed both, well... Thankfully though, there's a way you can able to actually just start all over again by smack yourselves into the wall, or even the actual big sun as a result for this matter though, because yeah, I've seen a lot of speedrunners who managed to able to actually successfully, well, failed on that specific run. But either way though, not much else to really say about it here, so anywho though, so let's see, okay, there's the green star just onto that particular rock. And booyah, there we go. We got ourselves green star number 2 in Wild Glide Galaxy, so that takes care of that. And of course, we cannot even forget the first ever green star on that specific stage. So, hopefully I'll get ourselves a better chance for this point, especially with, you know, everything else for this resides. So, anywho though, Another things I want to talk about this actually, while I'm gonna be focusing on these green stars for the time being. Recently I managed to finally completed the 101% of the Donkey Kong Country game, specifically the first game. You already know about that on our Let's Play channel, but this time around though I managed to complete it again, but this time I managed to complete that on my Super Nintendo Classic Mini. So, want to point things out because you know how the fact that I love to able to actually go for these Super Nintendo games just to complete them, especially on my Super Nintendo Mini. So the next few games I'm actually going to be playing on the Super Nintendo Mini, which there are, obviously I still need to get back onto Super Mario World on my own time, as well as to try out Super Mario Kart, because, well, speaking of Super Mario Kart actually, is the fact that I would love to able to actually do a some Let's Plays of specifically the old school Mario Kart games, ranging from Super Mario Kart all the way up to Mario Kart Double Dash, so that we can able to conclude the rest of the Mario Kart Let's Plays, because we already did Mario Kart DS, as we said this before, as well as Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 7, but we need to do Mario Kart 8/8 Deluxe at some point in November this year, so even then hopefully we'll get these done. Until, I would say next year though will be the best idea, by going for those classic Mario Kart Let's Plays as far as I'm aware. Mind you, we're only gonna do one redo Let's Play of that particular game, and that is of course Mario Kart Double Dash, because, well, back then, back in during the likes of in 2011, the quality itself is pretty damn bad, at least as far as I can usually think about it for the time. Aside from that though, it might be still up there from the likes of Capcom 74, the actual co-op Let's Play of Mario Kart Double Dash, but not on our channel this time around though, because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm gonna do my own time, or in this case it's my turn to able to actually just do that, specifically for that redo Let's Play in mind. So either way though, now let's move on to Honey Bloom Galaxy, so even then though, once again, two green stars to find around here, so even then, I think one of them was actually at the middle portion of the level, so even then, hopefully we'll get a chance to find one. And I believe the second and the final one will have to be by the forms of almost towards the end of the level, so at least as far as I'm most likely concerned with that. So even then, because of that though, I will say though, is that the actual shortcut skills I managed to perform are actually super impresses me, because, well, since I already know about that, because of how, you know, Luigi's jumping maneuvering is actually really, really big. So even then though, that you can get a guarantee about the fact that you weren't able to breeze for that kinds of stuff super easily. So either way though, let's go bypass that specific enemy over there, so that way we don't get hit by the actual things itself right there. And it's important to know without the fact that with the first green star, I always recommend, as well as the forms of green star number 2 actually, always recommends you able to use the bee suit on, because if you somehow don't have your bee suit on with you, chances are you might able to actually just go through those little bouncy stuff. So either way, I just want to point things out right away, so even then when you get the hang of it though, then you would do it alright. So there we go, green star number 1 is being collected, and now let's move on to green star number 2, which I said this before, it was actually almost at the very end of that specific stage. So, and then once we're done with all that, then we can get into the most exciting part of the Green Stars hunting of all the stages in World 2, and that is of course Bowser's Lava Lair. So even then hopefully we'll get to that after we're able to get ourselves the second and the final Green Star on Honey Bloom stage. So either way though, you probably already know about this kinds of stuff already, so anywho though. Aside from everything else though, well, I'm afraid to say is the fact though that's all we can say about this point, because either way though, that hopefully at some point in the next few days or so, hopefully we're able to actually start bringing something new to the table, especially whenever I get into the next world in the Green Stars hunting from the likes of this game, but it wasn't until this first day when I was gonna able to upload that for the sake of time. So even then, hopefully we'll get a chance by that. And son of a biscuit, that was the, considering the amount of times I keep always getting hit by these darn Goombas every single time. But either way though, I think this most notably because of my lack of skills or something when it comes to like speed running, maneuvering, and all that such, which either way though, don't worry, this is not run on Twitch or anything like that, although I wish I could, but I don't have any accessibility to able to actually access those. But either way though, we'll just skip that, and as soon as we come towards this this point right there, I probably should able to use the bee mushroom for the majority of this part. Because as a result of this kind of stuff, though, then yeah. What the hell? Oh, okay. That actually works. I managed to able to actually clip through right for that flower, but somehow the actual momentum in the air just managed to able to actually carries me upwards. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, I have to say, for this matter, though. You can still see the actual already collected secret power star right from over there. But oh yeah, by the way, you know, with the actual I think I already mentioned about this before, but we're not going to explain more specifically details onto that, though, whenever we get to World 3, because even then, so far, it looks like we don't have that much ghost data in World 3, or World 2, actually. So I think there was only one in particular, and that was on the forms of, well, in Cloudy Court's first mission, which is Head for the Clouds mission, because I already showed you guys how Luigi plays out from the very beginning. But either way, though, now we can able to see Luigi in action properly from the likes of the Green Stars hunting, as I said this before. So anyways, let's go ahead and swing from here. And I believe in order to actually get that green star from over there, swing at this height right there. And make sure your flying meter will fill all the way up. Fly all the way up to the top, and boom, there you go. You get yourselves a nice, glorious green star. So there we go. I think that pretty much takes care of Honey Bloom Galaxy. So only one more stage to go in World 2, so that will have to be, of course, Bowser's Lava Lair. So should be exciting, though. Should be very, very exciting. So even then, though, hopefully we could able to actually pull off some more brief amounts of shortcuts for that specific level I was going to talk about. But even then, though, let's get to it. So even then, though, once again, 2 green stars on that specific stage. So even then, though, that's, you know, you probably get the idea about that solutions here. So, anywho, though, so time for green star number 1. So I believe green star number 1, it was almost near to the middle portion of the level, but I believe this second green star was actually coming up after this. So even then, hopefully we could, you know, able to actually find them just in time. And you know, with the forms of that specific meteor boulders that we actually come across into from the likes of those Bowser battles, and by the way, shortcuts await! Man, I love doing that. Especially noticeable, if you can't be bothered to able to deal with the Kamek at all, then Luigi is a good one for you. So because of this, though, I was going to demonstrate it as Mario, but I don't think I can able to actually just try it with him, though, because, well, specifically with his jumps doesn't... Oh, God, slipped all over the place. Anyways, though, because I did manage to demonstrate it with Mario, but I don't think he can able to make it by that far. But either way, though, compared to Luigi, though, that he can simply just able to actually make himself all the way from here with his very simple long jump, and that's all there is to know if you don't use the spin jump at all. So either way, though, now let's go ahead and continue things on. Oh, jeez, that was really close. Screw that hammer, bro, right there. Well, it wasn't until when we come across into those idiots again at some point at the end of the game, but I'm actually not looking forward to, because, well, you know, we're actually getting pretty close towards it for the most part, though. So anyways, the first green star is hiding right onto that rock, onto that specific magma. And you know, with the actual meteor rocks that we already come across into ever since joining in several of Bowser battles, this will be the final time we're going to be using these kinds of stuff, because now we're able to actually move on to the later stages as a result, from World 3, 4, 5, and 6, and World S. So yeah, because of this, though, we're actually getting really, really dang close towards it. So even then, though, let's just head back to Bowser's Lava Lair for the final time, and, you know, grab the second and the final green star. Sorry, I just keep on saying grand star for some reason, because G is more likely represents with grand and green and all that such. But either way, though, let's just, you know, carry on and just, you know, grab the second green stars. So even then, I think it's somewhat at the underneath on that specific Magic Mouse sections. So even then, I know exactly where that is. So, and there's also, this will be the last green star in World 2. So even then, though, that's, I'm quite surprised we're almost at the halfway point on these green star collectings. Because, sure, I can able to actually easily just manage to tackle for those in a shorter amount of time, while at the same time that most of the actual journey has to offer. Might take it a little bit longer to get to, but either way, though, that's as far as I can usually say about this. So anyways, though, so let's go ahead and just avoid any kind of lava out there, and just launch ourselves to top it off. And Hopefully we can able to dodge a lot of these little flumps, as you can see right there. Although this will be the final time we're going to be seeing these guys. Although it wasn't until at the very end of the game though, which we'll to see those again. Well, we're not going to explain things too much, specifically details onto that specific point just yet though, because you know, we've already just got started with the Green Stars hunting ever since in World 1, so... Anywho though, at least surprisingly enough though, is the fact that World 2 is practically unchanged when it comes to the forms of the music and etc. I'm guessing World 1 is the only difference out there when it comes to the actual music it's been playing. Because originally that particular World 2 map music was supposed to be tied in with World 1 and 2, but chances are it's only World 2 instead this time. So either way though, now I can see there's a green star just underneath from here. Just have to wait until when the Mountain Mouse managed to munch the actual floor. And there we go. We got ourselves the second and the final green star in Bowser's Lava Lair and the final green star in World 2. So 2 worlds down as far as the gold crown as far as I'm concerned. And only for about 5 worlds to go. See, for Nendo, we actually got a whole way through to go through. See, for Nendo, 156 power stars. So top notch that is. So, we got the endings off here, I'm afraid, for this point, guys. So, join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy 2. Is the fact that we are still continuing on with the Green Stars hunting, but this time around, though, here we go on to World 3 Green Stars. So, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.